Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, you're welcome to this day, the 14th day of June, 2022 SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM class. So today we'll be hearing from Professor Godbrother, His Grace Srimad Sahadeva Prabhu. So Srimad Sahadeva Prabhu, you're welcome to the SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM class. 14th day of June.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So if you're ready, we'll put the class on the screen and then we can start.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Professor Godbrother, His Grace Srimad Sahadeva Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu, you can start.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayashu Abhadrashu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Vichamasloke Bhakti Bhava Iti Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for being here today. We are reading from SRIMAD Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, texts 24-25. Jalokasham Jale Yadwan Mahantadanti Aniyashaha Durubalan Balino Rajan Mahanta Balino Mitaha Evam Balishtar Yadubir Manat Bir Etaran Bibuhu Yadun Yadubir An Yonyam Bubaran Sanjaharaha Jalo Kasham Jale Yadwan Mahanto Dante Aneya Shaha Durubalan Balino Rajan Mahanto Balino Mitaha Evam Balishtair Yadubir Mahat Bir Etaran Bibu Yadun Yadubir Anyon Yam Bubaran Sanchaharaha Jalo Kasham Jale Yadwan Mahanto Dante Aneya Shaha Durbalan Balino Rajan Mahanto Balino Mitaha Evam Balishtair Yadubir Mahat Bir Etaran Bibu Yadun Yadubir Anyon Yam Bubaran Sanjara Haraha. Synonyms: Jalokasham, of the aquatics, Jale, in the water, Yadwat, as it is, Mahantaha, the larger one, Adanti, swallows, Aniyasaha, smaller ones, Drubalan, the weak, Balinaha, the stronger, Rajan, O king, Mahantaha, the strongest, Balinaha, less strong, Mitaha, in a duel, Evam, thus, Balishtahi, by the strongest, Yadubihi, by the descendants of Yadu, Mahadbihi, one who has greater strength, Itaran, the common ones, Vibhu, the supreme personality of Godhead, Yadun, all the Yadus, Yadubihi, by the Yadus, Anyonyam, among one another, Bubaran, the burden of the world, Sanjahara, as unloaded, Ha, in the past. Translation and purport by Jagat Guru Param Guru Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Yeah.
Translation: O king, as in the ocean, the bigger and stronger aquatics swallow up the smaller and weaker ones, so also the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to lighten the burden of the earth, has engaged the stronger Yadu to kill the weaker. and the bigger yadu to kill the smaller. Purport. In the material world, the struggle for existence and survival of the fittest are laws because in the material world, there is disparity between conditioned souls due to everyone's desire to lord it over the material resources. This very mentality of lording it over the material nature is the root cause of conditioned life. And to give facility to such imitation lords, the illusory energy of the Lord has created a disparity between conditioned loving beings by creating the stronger and the weaker in every species of life. The mentality of lording it over the material nature and the creation has naturally created a disparity and therefore the law of struggle for existence. In the spiritual world, there is no such disparity, nor is there such a struggle for existence. In the spiritual world, there is no struggle for existence because everyone there exists eternally. There is no disparity because everyone wants to render service to the Supreme Lord. And no one wants to imitate the Lord in becoming the beneficiary. The Lord, being creator of everything, including the living beings, factually is the proprietor and enjoyer of everything that be. But in the material world, by the spell of Maya or illusion, this eternal relation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead is forgotten. And so the living being is conditioned under the law of struggle for existence and survival of the fittest. Om Ajana Timirandasya, Jnana Jnana Salakaya, Chakshu Anmilitam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Bhakadamayam Dadati Swapadanti Kam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalan Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagratam Saragunantan Pintam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Pintam Chat. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swamin Etinamini Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Ashtatatmane Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Etinamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Satarini Vancha Kalpatarudyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namashtate Tata Kanchana Gourangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So again, thank you all for being here today. Again, the text is, oh, sorry, I made a mistake earlier when I said 24:25, it's 25:26. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, texts 25 and 26 together. If you can scroll to the English, please. O king, as in the ocean, the bigger and stronger aquatics swallow up the smaller and the weaker ones, so also the supreme bestowal of Godhead, to lighten the burden of the earth, has engaged the stronger Yadu to kill the weaker and the bigger Yadu to kill the smaller. Hare Krishna. So today's theme is going to be circled around the survival of the fittest, which is a very interesting topic. Survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest is a natural law. And yesterday, His Grace Salika Prabhu spoke, and he was emphasizing what anthropologists of the world see the world. So anthropologists are people who have been trained to study the behavior of human beings, the behavior of society, and the things that society, human beings could do to better their lives. So these people, anthropologists, have studied and have resolved that there is what is called a natural law. And this natural law states that if you are weak, a stronger person will defeat you. If you are little, the bigger one will defeat you. It seems it's not a very nice law, but unfortunately, that is the law in this world. And as such, if you are weaker, if you are little, you should understand that you could be eaten up, you could be consumed by a stronger person, you could be consumed by a heavier or a bigger person. And so what do? You make steps to protect yourself, because self-protection is the primary rule and principle in this world. Self-preservation. Everyone wants to preserve his or her life, because by nature, the nature of the Jiva Atman, we are not supposed to die. So when you see death coming, you run away, or you try to do anything, everything to prevent death. And so we see in the animal kingdom, in the ocean, and in human society, the strong always bully the weak. For example, in the US, 1% of the population are very, very, very rich. They are multi-millionaires or billionaires. And because even though percentage-wise, they are very little, they are very strong, and as such, they control the remaining 99% of the population. And all the 99% do is to go by the machinations of this 1%, and then the 99% work for them. And so the rich keeps getting richer, and the poor keeps getting poorer. That is how this world is. There was a time Bhattacharya Maharaj was giving class, and he shared this very interesting experience he witnessed. He was waiting to catch a flight, and he saw different creatures. trying to pounce on each other. So he was saying he saw a fly, and this fly was being chased after by another bigger fly. And this bigger fly caught the smaller fly and ate it up. Then a very short while, he saw a cat trying to pounce on this fly. There is also another story where a very poor mendicant went to see a yogi and asked for a boon. And what was the boon? The boon was that he has a cow, and this cow is being disturbed by a lion. But that is not just the beginning of it. The beginning of the story was that he had a place, and he had a mouse that was disturbing him. So he wanted something to take care of the mouse. So he prayed to become a cat. So he had a cat. A cat that dealt with the mouse, and then the cat also started suffering from a lion, So lion, cat, they're all in the same family, but a cat is much, much smaller and weaker compared to a lion, stronger and bigger. So he became a lion and was dealing with a cat, was able to discipline the cat. After he became a lion, then he wanted to pounce on the yogi who gave him the powers. So the yogi said, okay, you go back to your human form. So that is just the nature of this world. And that is why, as human beings, we should understand that we do not allow ourselves to be bullied. We do not allow ourselves to be cheated. We do not allow ourselves to be trodden on, because that is the principle of this world. Of course, it is said that full-fledged human beings are not supposed to live according to survival of the fittest law. But most of us are not yet full-fledged human beings, so we are like that. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada was explaining how Lord Krishna himself was behind how the stronger and the bigger Yadus conquered and defeated the weaker and the smaller Yadus. Because the Yadus are so powerful to the point that they are Krishna's own people. Nobody else can kill them. And Krishna had completed his pastimes on earth, and he had to go back. In fact, they said that Krishna lived for 36 years more after the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So when Krishna departed, the Yadus also had to leave. And the way for them to leave was, we know the story how Samba dressed like a pregnant woman and approached a yogi asking him, what is going to be the sex of my baby? He says, okay, it's going to be iron. And then they have this iron rod. They didn't want it to manifest as being predicted. So they ground the iron, threw it into the ocean. A fish saw a particle of it. The whole story is there. Well, the other iron, the powdered iron, grew to become like thorn grasses, and that is what they used to fight, to kill each other. So it is said that the stronger ones were defeating the weaker ones. The bigger ones were defeating the smaller ones. So Srila Prabhupada, actually not Srila Prabhupada, Sri Krishna explains in the SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, I think Canto, what's the name? Salika Prabhu, if you can put this verse on the screen for me, I really appreciate. It's Canto 8. Let me see, Canto 8, chapter, no, sorry. There are a couple of, yeah, Canto 8, chapter 7, verse 18. 8, 7, 18. It's very interesting. Srila Prabhupada mentions about a particular fish. It's called a Timingala. Okay, so the fish, sharks, tortoises, and snakes were most agitated and perturbed. This is describing the churning of the ocean to bring out the nectar, the fight between the demons and the devas. So the fish, sharks, tortoises, and snakes were most agitated and perturbed. The entire ocean became turbulent, and even the large aquatic animals like whales, water elephants, crocodiles, and timingala fish. Srila Prabhupada says in parentheses, large whales that can swallow small whales came to the surface. While the ocean was being churned in this way, it first produced a fiercely dangerous poison called hala. So what I'm trying to say is this timingal fish, modern scientists and biologists, oceanographers, they think that this timingala is a myth, it's a mythology, because they haven't seen it before. But Srila Prabhupada explains that this fish, timingal, exists. They live very, 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 very down deep to the bottom of the ocean, and they don't usually come out. They come out once in a blue moon. And these timingal fish are so huge that they swallow even a blue whale in one gulp. And a blue whale is like 3 or 4 times the size of an elephant. And this timingal fish swallows this whale in one gulp. So in life, the smaller, the weaker are designed to be eaten up by the stronger and the bigger ones. As living entities, we all have to eat. We all have to subsist on food. And the weak is designed to become the food for the strong. And that is why the lion is said to be the king of the jungle. And so all animals are afraid of the lion. Even elephants. Elephants are bigger and fatter than the lions. But because they are not as strong as lions, these lions are able to catch these elephants and use them as prey. And so when in human life, in human society, when we live this life of the survival of the fittest, then it means that we are no more humans, we are animals. Because as human beings, we are supposed to use our strength to help the weak. We are supposed to use our knowledge to help the ignorant. When we fail or refuse to use what has been endowed to us by Mother Nature or by the Supreme Lord, and uses whatever has been endowed to us in a negative way to manipulate, then in our next life, Krishna takes it away from us. For example, if in this life, I abuse my strength because I'm so strong. I abuse my strength and just bully everybody anyhow, anytime. Then in my next life, Krishna, nature, will say, we gave you strength to help the weak. You did not use it. You don't deserve it. You're not going to be given again. So we see in this life, there are so many categories of human beings. There are those who are very intelligent. There are those who are very dull-headed, like myself. There are those who are handsome. There are those who are not so handsome. There are so many variegatedness, and they are all dependent on our actions. How well we use what has been given to us by nature. If we abuse what nature has given us, then nature will take it away from us. But Krishna himself says that this law is there because there is disparity in this material world. And because there is this disparity, nature has enacted this law. And so Srila Prabhupada says that the anthropologists, they are right in saying that there is the law of the survival of the fittest. But what they do not know, or what they do not realize, is behind the law, who is the maker of the law? Who made the law? Who is that nature? Anthropologists, scientists will say Mother Nature. It's very interesting, they say mother. All right, we understand that nature is mother. So for a woman to have reproduction means that there must be a male. So who is the master? Who is the master of Mother Nature? That they do not know. Who is Mother Nature? They do not know. Fortunately for some of us, we know. We know who Mother Nature is. We know who her boss, the Supreme Lord, is. And the Supreme Lord is such that it is so simple up to the point that it's very, very difficult for many people to accept that this is the Supreme Lord. And that is why it is never easy for any individual soul to see Krishna, even see his super excellent activities, and still accept him as the Supreme Lord. It's very difficult. But Sri Krishna, it says that, hold on, Srila Prabhupada has given a Bengali saying. It says, Rake Krishna Marake, Mare Krishna Rakeke. That is, if Krishna wants to kill one, who can protect him? And if Krishna wants to protect one, who can kill him? And so this nature of the survival of fittest is coming from a person, from a brain, from a higher brain. In the material sense, there is what we call different organs of the human body. And just as whatever is so dear to us, we protect them very, very securely. You know, if you enter into anybody's house, the last thing for you to see is money. Everybody saves his money because it's so dear to everyone. And so we understand that Bhagavad Gita contains 18 chapters. So when you divide 18 by 3, you get 6. So chapters 1 to 6, chapters 7 to 12, chapters 13 to 18. These are the 3 different segments of Bhagavad Gita. So 1 to 6, first, 7 to 12, second, 13 to 18, third. And so we see one starts, one ends, and there is one in between. And what is in between is 7 to 12, which is the most important of Bhagavad Gita. Every single word in Bhagavad Gita is very important, but the most in terms of the loving entity, learning, understanding, and attaining Krishna is preserved and secured in chapters 7 to chapter 12. So in the same way, there are two most important organs in the human body, is the brain, and the brain is also kept in a very secured safe called the skull. And then the heart, which is also very important, is also secured in our rib cage. It's very difficult to reach these two organs. In material sense, there are 5 different aspects of the brain. These different aspects help us think, reason, and do things differently. Now, when you come to the spiritual aspect of it, there are 4 different dimensions of the brain. In science, it says brain. In spiritual science, it says mind. So there are 4 different levels of the mind. But whichever level we are at, other than the last one, which is the cheetah, when one gets to the level of cheetah of the mind, then one sees no difference between the body and the soul. And only very, very, very few people get to that level. And until we get to that level, we see differences. And that is where we belong to in this world. There are differences because there are different planes. And so in this material world, as long as we remain in this material world, the survival of the fittest is a law. And it behooves every single individual to understand this principle, this law, and guard himself against this law accordingly. Because in animal kingdom, whenever an animal finds himself threatened, he will do everything to protect itself. That is the nature of the world, that whatever you find difficult, you do something to protect yourself. Again, in Canto 8, verse 523, Srila Prabhupada explains that if one actually wants to be happy in this world, then that person doesn't understand what is happiness. Because there is never going to be any point in time where one can attain real happiness in this world. Why? Because of this survival of the fittest. People, whether we like it or not, are going to take advantage of our weakness, our kindness, our religiosity. Some few years ago, there was one crazy guy who had aimed at Black people because he is white and hated on Blacks. He wanted it to go on a rampage against the Blacks. So what did he do? He traveled all the way. He crossed like 5 different states to get it to a particular state, and then went to a particular church. These people, mostly, like 95% of the congregation are Blacks. They were worshiping. And he understood that these are religious people. They are kind. they're going to receive me. And they received him. They didn't know him. They received him. He worshiped with them. And soon after he had been worshiping with them, he started raining bullets on them, and he killed almost all of them. And so sometimes when one is trying to become religious, when one is trying to be kind, when one is trying to live the scriptural laws and principles, then others see this person to be a very soft target. It's very easy. And as such, especially in the US here, many states, many churches now have security guards. In fact, even in ISKCON temples, like especially my temple here, we also constructed a big gate that will lock it. You know, previously in the Vedic time, anybody could walk to any ashram, any temple, and will be warmly received. But that is not the case anymore. In this darn age, everybody's gone crazy. Everybody is trying to make money very cheaply, very quickly. And so people will do anything and everything they can to make money. And if an individual does not understand that if he or she is weak, a stronger person can manipulate him, abuse him, and use him according to the way he wants, then he's fooling himself. Just like one comedian was on one show, and he was saying, because the big crowd, he was black from somewhere, this was in the UK, but he was from Malawi. So jokingly, he was saying, some 200 years ago, me being a black man standing here talking to you and you laughing, I would be an auction, you know, because some people were stronger, and so they were manipulating and abusing the weaker ones and taking them into slavery against their wish. And when people act like that, survival of the fittest, they cease to be humans, they are animals. And so when one is a leader, and because he is stronger, he is abusing or cheating the weaker one, he's not a human being, he's an animal. In our present day, we know what's going on between Russia and Ukraine. Russia is by way stronger than Ukraine. And so how do you enter into a sovereign land and then try to seize it? But this is not the first time, and it will not be the last time. There is one region in Ghana called the Volta region, which is part of Ghana. Volta region originally belonged to Togo, but the leaders at the time in Ghana, because they were stronger than the Togolese, they fought and then captured that part of the land and then included that as part of Ghana. So it's not the first time, it's not going to be the last time. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada says that in this world, there are two types of people. There are those who are pessimists and those who are optimists. And only those who are pessimists take to Krishna consciousness. There are some people, they are so optimistic. Oh no, the world is going to get better. The world is going to get better. Everything is going to be good. And so they keep doing whatever they can. There is nothing wrong in trying to make the world a better place. But the fact is that no matter how we better the world will still stink. That is just how the world is. how much well are you going to be able to treat a prison yard to be as good as outside the prison yard? Yes, somebody, there was one, excuse me my language, there was one stupid Ghanaian who stole away and was caught, was arrested, and he was traveling from Ghana to somewhere in Europe, stole away, and he was caught and was put in cells. He was deported back to Ghana. But when he was being interviewed, he was bragging. He said, I wish they would have kept me in that cells because that cells was so nice. You know, that's a very stupid guy. For somebody to think that the provisions provided in the cells is so nice, so I want to stay in nice. There is a television provided. I can sit here and watch television. They serve me 3 square meal. I don't work, they just serve me a 3 square meal. And I'm there and I'm watching television. And so I like to be here. He's a stupid person. So no matter what we are going through and we think we are enjoying in this world. Yesterday, Salika Prabhu was saying that one of the main reasons most of us join devotional service is to go back home, back to Godhead. But along the line, we kind of lose track of that goal and we become involved in so many other side attractions and lose focus on the main goal. The main goal is that we want to get out of this material world. And for that matter, we become pessimists. Why do we become pessimists? Pessimist means that we do not think or believe that this world is going to get better. And that is the actual fact. Krishna in his various incarnations have appeared in this material world several times. When he does come, at that material moment, things get better. As soon as he leaves, it's like a springboard. You pull it, it appears so strong and long. As soon as you leave it, it relapses and it goes back to its original position. And so we read in here, Krishna has left this material plane. And because he's left this material plane, the world is now suffering. The world is now suffering. Why? Because Krishna is out of the plane. It's out of the picture. Lord Krishna came, Lord Chaitanya came, Buddha came, Christ came, Muhammad came. The world is still as it is. So who are we to think that we can do something to make the world what we're dreaming of it to be? It's impossible. It's impossible. So if we understand that it is not possible to have ultimate peace in this world, then what are we struggling here for? So it is said that this material body, human body given to us, is a very bad bargain, but it serves as a bridge upon which we can cross these material miseries to the other side of the shore, which is Vaikuntha. No anxiety. Sri Prabhupada was explaining in the purport that in the spiritual world, there is no disparity. Why? Because every living being there has just one goal. And what is that goal? Is to serve Krishna. Nobody wants to become the controller. Nobody wants to become the Oga, you know? But in our world, everybody wants to become the controller. There are so many people in higher places. If you should ask them, step down, you are no more the leader. You are an ordinary member. See how they perform. And so Bhaktivinoda Maharaj used to say that yesterday we were talking about leadership, we're talking about seniority, So Gurudev, Bhaktivedanta Maharaj used to say that when someone is put in the position of being like a temple president or a regional secretary, this does not mean that person has a very special spiritual growth. There are some people, the spiritual master sees that this person can only perform when he or she is in a leadership position. As soon as you take the leadership position from him or her, he ceases to remain a devotee. And so the guru, seeing the nature of this particular soul, accordingly engages these devotees differently. But whoever we are, whatever we are, until we surrender to Krishna and make conscious efforts to going back home, back to Godhead, these mysteries will forever continue in this material world. It doesn't matter which plane we find ourselves in. It could be this earth, it could be beneath this earth, it could be up in the upper planetary systems, but these madness are everywhere. So Srila Prabhupada was trying to help remind us that do not think that you're going to be able to be a fit. He says survival of the fittest. How are you going to be a fit? You cannot fit. You cannot be a fitter in that sense, because if you defeat somebody today, tomorrow you're going to be defeated. If nobody defeats you, nature is going to defeat you in the form of death. And everything you struggled for, everything you killed, everything you did so many devious things to acquire will be left behind. Then what is the use? So who won? We always stand to lose. We are always losers. We can only win when we attach ourselves to Krishna. And the beginning and the end of the process of going back home, back to Godhead, is a very simple method. And it is said that it's so simple that those who are not simple-minded will see it and pass by it. What is it? It's the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama, Rama,
Very simple.
Hare, Hare.
Very, very simple. And so people do not take it serious. And of course, it was also not sold to us. Because it was not sold to us, we do not find it very valuable, because anything valuable has to be purchased. But even though it's been given to us free of charge, we still have to purchase it. And what is the purchase? The purchasing power of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is given to us free of charge, is the inner, sincere inkling that we truly mean what we are crying about. And so Srila Prabhupada explains as to how we have to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. When we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, behind the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, as we pronounce and verbalize with our tongue, at the back of our mind, we should be crying within that, Lord Shri Krishna, I am rotten in this material world. I'm suffering. I do not want to remain here suffering. Please take me out of this ocean of suffering. Again, it is said that this material world it's like a pool, it's like a well. We find ourselves in this well, and there is no water in this well. I mean, if you find yourself in a well and there is water in the well, you may even have water to drink. But we are in this deep well, but there is no water. Instead of water, there are many other horrible entities, like snakes, like mosquitoes. There are so much miseries, threefold miseries. Miseries by the mind, miseries by the body, miseries by other beings, miseries by natural forces. Where is the happiness? Where? Where is the happiness? Once in a while, we taste a little bit of happiness, but for the most part, there is no real happiness. Even if we do not know what the real happiness is, no one is happy in this world. Those who are very rich, they don't sleep much. They're always concerned and worried. How am I going to protect my money? How am I going to protect my wealth? So just to try to repeat what Salika Prabhu said yesterday, and His Holiness Bhakti Charadishna Maharaj, I've closely observed him. Every single time he speaks, he tries to encourage us. We should not become so complacent and so comfortable at where we are at in our devotional life. Our goal, our purpose is to become pure devotees. That's who we want to become. We should not just become happy because Krishna has provided us some banku and some jollof rice. You know, we didn't sleep empty stomach. No, we have a place to lay our head. We have a wife, we have children, and we think life is rosy. No, we should make the conscious effort to become pure devotees. And becoming pure devotees require so much endeavor. So much endeavor. Hare Krishna. Salika Prabhu, thank you so much. It's up to you. It's your turn.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, His Grace Sahadeva Prabhu. Of course, I would not contend with the assertion of His Grace Ganga Prasad Prabhu when he says you're a professor. So the only thing is that he didn't define the professorship. So I'm completing the professorship this evening in Nigeria, Professor of Vedic Studies. Thank you very much for giving us so much.
Are you sure?
We're very grateful for elaborate examples, practical applications of the test, referencing so many live practical experience in relations to the test. Thank you very much. Now, devotees, this is our time to introspect and ask questions to the professor of the studies of Vedic literatures. He is capable and able to give out.
If I'm ever a professor at all, I think I may be a professor in speculation, nothing more. I love to speculate. I will lie to you.
So devotees, please kindly indicate by using the emoji to raise your hand if you have any question in regards to the question. Prabhu, I have a question. In the text, the picture painted from the text and especially in the Srila Prabhupada's purport, depicts, and you emphasize that, giving so many references and examples, depicts an unjust world. How then do we relate this with the fact that this world is a perfect world because it's coming from the perfect person? How can an imperfected creation be manifesting from a perfect person? Because the world is the Supreme Lord is perfect. But the picture we're seeing here today in this text is that the world is not a perfect place. So how can an imperfection come out from a perfect person?
Thank you so much. Beautiful question. The invocation of Sri Ishopanishad says that the Supreme Lord is one. You know, Om Prunam Ada Prunam Idam, Prunat Prunam Udachate, Prunasya Prunam Adaya, Prunam Eva Vashishate. Even though the complete Supreme Lord is one, he becomes many, but he remains one. For us, as living entities, we see imperfection, but to the Supreme Lord, it's perfection. Because, all emanation from him such as Srinam. So we are the same as Krishna, but the question is, are we the same? We suffer. The Supreme Lord does not suffer. Like we were saying yesterday, the Supreme Lord is the supremest autocrat. As living entities, we may try to be autocrat. And what happens? Anywhere in the world where there is autocracy, there is danger. But the Supreme Lord is autocrat, and there is no danger in his kingdom. It's so peaceful because he is the supreme whole. And even though we are also supreme whole because we are part and parcel of him, but we are minute. We are the minute particle of the Lord. So for a child who has stolen coins from his parents, the parents would discipline him. The child sees the parents as mean and wicked and unloving, but the parents see themselves very loving because that is what the child deserves. And so once we are in this world, and that is why Srila Prabhupada explained in the purport, laws are made because of nonsense. We do not act nonsensically because of laws. When we act nonsensically, then laws are made. Just like when you have to go to work and you have to report at work at 8 o'clock. There may be nothing wrong in reporting at 8, 8:15, 8:20, but when the CEO realizes that, well, employees are supposed to report at work at 8 o'clock, but they've been reporting to work at 8:15, 8:30, some reporting at 9 o'clock. Then the CEO makes a law that anyone who comes to work 15 minutes after the time he or she is supposed to report is going to be punished or disciplined. So what has brought about the law? What has brought about the law was the nonsense of the employees. And so even though the law may not be so conducive and appreciated by the employees, but for the employer, it's really good because he does that to make sure that they do the right thing. And so nature has made this world such a place that we have to suffer. When we do not suffer, we will not remember and recollect our senses that this is not our place. We become complacent here. And so these laws are made, they appear unjust. You're right to say that. They appear unjust, but they are just because we've become a nuisance. And when you become a nuisance, you have to be punished, you have to be disciplined. And so if we do not want to be in this realm of unjust world, then we have to get out of this place. But being in this world and expecting just is a deception. It's impossible. Like I was saying, from the time of creation till today, till Kalki appears, the world is going to be an unjust place. So who are we to think? Srila Prabhupada came and left. Who is much powerful than Srila Prabhupada? And the world is still crazy. So who are we to think that we're going to be able to better the world up to a point that there will be no more sorrows? There will be no more miseries. It's impossible. So yes, it appears it's unjust, especially for the stronger to use the weaker as food, the bigger to use the smaller as food. But that is how it is because we want to do it. And nature has facilitated that for us. It's just our instinct. It's just our nature. Actually, when I came to US, a friend of mine told me, says, hey, Sahadeva, you better put on some weight, man. You know, you better put on some weight because I'm kind of skinny guy. So in the US, if you are skinny, you know, people will try to bully you. And it's true. If you're skinny, you don't have weight, people try to bully you. So unfortunately, that is the nature of this world. So it appears unjust, and it actually is unjust, but in the ultimate sense, it's a just world because the ultimate, almighty, just Lord treat each and every situation accordingly. Because we are crazy people, this world is designed this way. Once we stay away from craziness, we belong to a world where this mess is not there. And that's what Srila Prabhupada was saying, the purport in the spiritual world, there is no such disparity. Nobody is trying to lord over material nature. Nobody is trying to lord over anything. Rubbing shoulders with Krishna. That Krishna, you've been the head all these years. Stay somewhere, let me become the head. Nobody does that. Nobody thinks that way.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the beautiful answer. But I have a follow-up question.
Please do.
There are no hands up yet, so I think I can enjoy my freedom of, you know, I was also called an associate professor. So
yes,
for associate professor to learn from the professor, he has to ask a lot
no,
of questions.
No. What is Ganga Prashad Prabhu?
Thank you very much for the beautiful answer to that question. But then there's a follow-up question. So from your answer, you did explain that this is a just world because it is meant for the just, for the purpose for our craziness, as you use the word. But then the question here is that nobody wants to suffer. I didn't want to suffer. No one comes to the material world because he wants to suffer. So I came into the material world because I want to enjoy. And God is all loving. So why wouldn't he make the world for me to enjoy and be happy here? Why is he making me suffer? Because my intention wasn't to suffer. I want to enjoy. And it's my Father. He owns everything. So my coming in here was just to enjoy. So why will he make my desire to enjoy become a suffering? How will my good intention of enjoying my Father's wealth and property become a crazy intent? I can't understand that.
A very good question. Thank you so much, Salika Prabhu. Well, it's a very nice way of trying to churn the ocean. And once you try churning the ocean gets perturbed and all the hidden gems in the waterbed surface up. And so that's what you're trying to do here. Now, let's look at this. Srila Prabhupada says, and in fact, not just Srila Prabhupada, modern biologists also think that mango is the king of fruits, say the chief of fruits. So we want to enjoy mango nectar. And then you go get yourself orange, which kind of looks like mango, and you squeeze it. Are you going to get mango nectar? No, you won't get it. Because if you want mango nectar, you have to have mango and then you squeeze it and then you get the nectar out of mango.
Yes.
So the mere fact that you want mango juice does not mean that you can touch or use anything that looks like a mango and expect it to have mango juice from it. It's impossible. So this world is designed in such a way that one cannot find true happiness here, period. That is how it's designed. And so if one wants to find real happiness, and then you go to a place where you cannot find it and you expect to find it, who are you to blame? For example, I want to mine diamonds. I know diamond is a very precious gem. And then I go to a place where they have like car junks, you know, and then I start hitting the metals, expecting to have diamond coming out of the cow junk. I'm working so hard, but it's not gonna be there. You can't find it there. And so this world is designed in such a way that it's very far away from the place where we can have true happiness. You know, it's said that the fish, I mean, it looks like where we human beings, where we sleep compared to where fish sleeps. You know, we have a nice mattress. Now there are so many different types of mattresses where if you are married couples, you can regulate where you sleep, your wife can regulate where she sleeps, and you have different temperatures. Oh, I don't like so much heat. And so your wife likes heat. She can warm up her side of the mattress. You cool the side of your mattress. Oh, so much comfort, you know. And then you have like a golden metallic bed. You have your mattress. Do you think you put the fish on this mattress, the fish is going to enjoy? No. And so instinctively, we know that we do not belong to this world because anybody with level-headedness knows that there is no true happiness. In fact, I had some instructors in college here in the years, and they deliberately refused to keep television sets in their homes. They don't want to have a television set in their homes. Why? Because they say about 95% of whatever we watch on the television are all evil. And even if you have a news and it's not something bad, it doesn't catch any attraction. If you have something good, we don't like it. That's our nature. We don't like anything good. When somebody has good news, how many people want to hear? Like we're speaking backward, how many people want to hear? If we want to gossip about Bin Laden, how he managed to hit the tower in New York, you know, everybody wants to hear what happened. Oh, so this guy was such a big rascal. He knew how to. We love such things, you know. So this is the abode. This is the abode of ignorance. And you do not expect to be in ignorance and have true happiness. Ignorance also have some happiness, but it's happiness in the mode of ignorance. They're suffering, but they don't know. They think they're enjoying. Just like the pig is eating stool and it thinks he's enjoying. I was asking this question the other time. A whole king of the heavens, Indra, being cursed to take the body of a hog in this material world. And then he had children. He's busy eating stool in the garbage. And when he was told that, hey, dear sir, your time is up. Let's go back to the heavens. He says, what do you mean by heaven? I'm here with my children. I'm enjoying, you say heaven. Take your heaven, I don't want it anymore. So that is the situation we find ourselves in. We are suffering, yet we think we are enjoying. So unfortunately, we cannot find real happiness in this world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. That's a beautiful way of answering the question. Looking for the right thing in the wrong place.
Yeah.
In other words, you're saying that it isn't wrong for us to want to enjoy, to experience peace, to experience all the good things, but we're looking for it in the wrong place. I think that's the answer. Thank you very much for that beautiful answer. So, is Grace Kavikanapu? Please kindly unmute and ask a question.
Thank you very much, Associate Professor. Thank you very much, Associate Professor. And I want to ask a professor question.
You are warned not to ask a PhD question.
I want to ask the professor question. The professor Fredrickson.
Ask a kindergarten question. Kindergarten.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for your wonderful lecture. Yes, Prabhu, my question is very simple and direct. Because we're talking about happiness and cannot get happiness here. And I sometimes wonder, what is happiness? What do we define as happiness? Because this word, it looks so simple that most of the time we miss it. So that is my question, Prabhu. And how can we differentiate happiness from comfort?
Okay, very good question. What is happiness? And how do we actually attain happiness? And again, what is the difference between happiness and comfort? Well, happiness, Srila Prabhupada explains that happiness, I think there is this book, I think Much Less Gift. In the caption, the caption, which is like when you flip the book, the back, the caption is there, which gives you like a summary of what to find in the book. So Srila Prabhupada says in that caption that people in this world are looking for happiness. But how can we attain happiness when there is no peace? So we should ask ourselves, are we peaceful? If you are not peaceful, then forget about happiness. There cannot be happiness without peacefulness. So when there is peace, then happiness comes. Peace begets happiness. Yes, peace begets happiness. And we should ask ourselves, do we find peace in this world? We're just talking about Russia and Ukraine. Where is the peace? If there is no peace, where is the happiness? So as long as there is no peace in this world, there is no true happiness in this world. Comfort is when we are not having or experiencing pain. But sometimes one may not experience pain, but the situation may also not be comfortable. So it's in between. You do not have pain, but it's not comfortable either. It hurts. In English language, you say it hurts. Somebody will say, you ask him, do you have pain? He says, no, I don't have pain, but it hurts. It means that there is no much comfort at that particular site, or like maybe he says, no, my knee hurts. I don't feel pain in my knee, but it hurts. It's cold, In Africa, you say rheumatism. In the US, you say arthritis, especially when the weather gets cold. And as we grow old, lots of us are going to have this nerve problems. We're going to have this rheumatic arthritic problems. Sometimes it's so painful. Sometimes it's not so painful, but it hurts. And sometimes you feel comfortable because you were sitting on a very nice cushion. I remember those days in Africa, they used to have special cushions for so-called senior devotees. If you're a senior devotee, you're given a cushion. They push the cushion under your butt and then you sit on it. You don't sit on the hard, dry floor and you feel comfortable and you become excited. Yes, I'm a senior devotee. So that gives you comfort, but that does not mean that you are happy. So my short answer is that happiness is giving birth to when there is peacefulness. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji says, and how can there be any happiness without peace? Yeah, thank you. So that is just my little answer, and I was the name Salika Prabhu. Thank you so much. 266. Kavi,
Yes, Prabhu, I have a follow-up question.
please do.
Yeah, Prabhu, thank you very much for the explanation. It's direct and good and straight to the point. The follow-up question is that I watched one video of one pastor. So he was preaching, and there is one picture they show. It has become a very common picture in Nigeria now. And the pastor say, I will never be broke in my life. You know, it's like seeing the joy. I will not use happiness now because you say that money doesn't give happiness. But when he saw what money can give, the pastor was saying, I will never be broke in my life. Means that, does it mean that money doesn't give any sense of happiness at all? It can only give comfort? Or does money give some security that begets happiness? It's a very tricky something. So
No, it does. Money does. Money does give happiness because money does give peacefulness. Why? To some extent, because if your child is going to college or maybe in the university, and it's very expensive to pay for a child in the college or in the university, and you do not have money, there is no peace of mind. But you have money, you have peace of mind. And so it gives you happiness right there. So money can give us happiness in some aspects of life. But money alone in itself cannot give us ultimate happiness because it is not everything money can buy. Because when we are sick and we have good money, we can go to the biggest, most expensive, most lucrative hospital. But if after everything, the doctors are unable to help us, where is the peace of mind? Where is the peace we're looking for in our body? And so even though we have all this money, but it's unable to give us what we're looking for. And so the happiness is not there. If the money can give us what we're looking for, then the happiness comes about. So we cannot say that money does not bring about happiness or forget about money. See, people who say like that are poor people. And because they are poor and they feel that there is no way they can make money, they want to console themselves that money does not give happiness. Because I'm poor, you stay poor. Who tells you money does not give happiness? Money does give happiness. It does not give ultimate happiness, but it does give some happiness.
Thank you, Prabhu.
When the other time, there have been few times, one of my boys here, because sometimes we watch the television, and sometimes I want them to see what's going on in other parts of the world and in other homes, So, oh, Krishna, it's so difficult to watch. But the most, I don't know whether because maybe I'm a parent, but for me, there is nothing as painful as a parent seeing your child being hungry and not being able to provide food for your child. And sometimes they show these struggling children on the television dying of hunger. And when you look at the bodily shape of the child, they are like skeleton, but they are alive. You see that it tears your heart apart. No, because they do not have money to buy anything. And they are caught up in a situation where even if they had money, there is no way to find food to buy. And so, my brother, money is Lakshmi. Who are we to say that Lakshmi is not needed? But we are told that Lakshmi alone can be very dangerous because Mother Lakshmi is Chanchalam. But if you have Lakshmi Narayan, then Lakshmi becomes stable. She will never run away. So Lakshmi with that Narayan is okay, but it's Chanchalam. It's not going to be staying long in your hands. But Lakshmi Narayan forever. So yes, only poor people oftentimes say that money is not good. I have a friend in Ghana. In Ghana language, there is this saying, money, when they are addressing money, the adjective they use is a beast, the beast money. You know, the money called the beast. So he told me, his father said to him, anytime anyone describes money as a beast, you tell the person that he actually is the beast, not the money. Money is not a beast, right? Money is power. Money is energy. Lakshmi is energy. Krishna is the energetic. And who are you to deny energy? Who are you to deny power? Hare Krishna, Kavi.
Hare Krishna. Kavi Prabhu, thank you very much for that beautiful question. Yeah, I think if permitted, I just wanted to make a short comment here. Vishal Prabhu is there.
Oh,
actually,
GBC is here. My goodness.
The GBC
he must be
is
very
here.
interested in this topic. He must be very interested in this topic.
What did I do?
Actually, I just want to make a short comment. I think the thin line in between material happiness and spiritual happiness is differentiating between the soul and the body. The living entity is said to be a combination of the body and the soul. That's why Krishna started the teaching of Bhagavad Gita by giving the Dehinosmi Yata philosophy, that the living entity is a spirit soul. But the living entity also have the body, which is material, and both has to be met. The need of both has to be met. So most of the time when materialists say that they are happy, actually they have satisfied their bodily needs at the expense of their spiritual needs. So they are happy. It's not like they are not happy. Materialist people also are happy because their bodily needs are fulfilled when they get money. And that is why they all go mad after money, because with money, all material needs can be taken care of. But because the living entity is beyond the body, it's a spirit soul. So it is not ultimately satisfying, because an aspect of the living entity, which is the body, is satisfied and it derives some kind of sense of happiness, but ultimately it becomes sad. And that's why the spiritualists will say that money does not give all happiness, because at some point after attaining, Gurudev gave a very typical example using Muhammad Ali, that Muhammad Ali, after his desire was to have money to buy anything and everything in the world. And at the point in time, he was able to do that. He could call women from, which is the highest sense gratification, from different parts of the world to enjoy. And when he got to that stage where he could afford everything and everything within the material world, then he realized that there is something missing, and that is the soul happiness. So there is the living entity desire or have a need for both material and spiritual happiness. But most of the time, because one becomes too poor, materially poor, he cannot even contemplate or understand what is the spiritual needs. And that is why it is said that the living entity, a poor man cannot serve God, because one has to fulfill first the bodily needs, then they can think about this spiritual need. So, and Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur put it very nicely when he gives the five kind of needs of the living entity, and from Anmaya and up like that. So let me stop there so that I don't start giving another lecture, because the professor is speaking, so I should be careful.
No. That's a very nice elaboration to collaborate what I was saying. Thank you so much, Lika Prabhu.
Thank you. So the King Kusha himself.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, King Kusha.
Let us hear.
My question is, if Krishna is God and he possesses all opulences, why must his servants be poor? That is one question. It is said that according to the Christian faith, that paradise is full of happiness, blah, blah, blah. So only the righteous goes there. So spiritually, if you're not holy and righteous, you cannot go into the kingdom of God. If you are also extremely poor and you go to the kingdom of God, are you not going there to steal from the rich and cause confusion in the kingdom of God? Because I love to bring it down to our material consciousness or level.
Okay.
Like if you go to a rich man's house, you are a poor man, you are likely to steal something. So if you're also extremely poor, you go to the kingdom of God, are you not going to cause confusion to the saintly people who are living in praise? Every step is a dance to Krishna. You cause confusion. How will you go there? When Krishna himself is God, rich, and you are poor, why are you worshiping?
All right, Hare Krishna, Shri Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for the question. Unfortunately, in the kingdom of God, our money here has no value there because nobody buys anything there. Everything is freely provided. Whatever you desire is immediately provided. Now, in our material plane, we are not in such a situation where you cannot just desire for something and something you desired for appears. I was sharing with this forum some time ago that once I went to work and I was discussing with some of my coworkers, I said, hey, we're working so hard, we're struggling so hard, and look at how much we earn. You know, at the end of the pay period, whatever money we make goes into bills and crazy expenditure. You have nothing left. So if I told you, hey, man, I want to do this for you. I want to give you a free house, free light, free utilities, no water bill, no electricity bill, no gas bill. Everything is free. I will provide food for you, free. If you want to go to Las Vegas, I'll buy your ticket. Boom, you go. Wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do, I give to you free. Will you come with me? They laughed at me and says, Jarvis, what are you talking about? How is that possible? I said, you're right, that is not possible in this world. But there is a world that is how they live their lives. They all have beautiful houses they live in. No need of electricity bill, no need of water bill, no need thinking of where this is going to come from, what I'm going to get from this, nothing.
Have you been there?
It sounds mythology. It sounds myth because
yes,
like
it sounds like it sounds like in Africa in the olden days in the village square, the grandparents tell us stories told by moonlight, which is unimaginable. It all sounds like this because knowledge is something that you experience by yourself.
Yeah,
can give proper accounts. So if you look at it in that aspect, it is still the same historical fallacies that parents tell their children. So I want to ask a question to join what you are saying. Krishna has so many incarnations. So many incarnations of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is for the holy name, austerity, sannyasi. His incarnation as Krishna is amorous, lovely, loving, exploitation of young girls or whatever. His incarnation in Dwaka is opulence, extreme opulence. So in the aspect of austerity or devotional service, a devotee can categorize or can live his or her life according to the form of Krishna he worships. Because Krishna said, as they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follow my path in all respects. So if you surrender to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are going to take sannyasi or be austere and be chanting the holy name, doing Harinam, Bhakti, or Krishna in Vrindavan, austerity. But Krishna, the same Krishna also is in Dwarka with opulence. So
well, thank
sometimes
you.
People wonder why some devotees are so rich, but so poor.
Yeah.
There's a secret that we were not being told or revealed to.
Well, I don't think it's a secret. We are not.
I want the Krishna in Dwarka.
But, okay, let's. Yeah. I remember some time ago, my ex-temple president, His Grace Haridam Prabhu, may he so rest in perfect peace in the kingdom of the Lord. He's no more here on this planet with us, but he was a Maha Sankirtan devotee. And I remember one time we were going to celebrate Krishna Janmashtami. And we had gone out and made big Sankirtan results. And so he also, like Krishna Prabhu is saying, he loved to live pump. He loved to live joyful. So we bought so much boga. We decorated the temple beautifully. And at that time I was a Dr. Smith. So he called me and says, Dr. Smith, what do you see? We are worshiping Krishna in Dwaraka. We are not worshiping Krishna in Vrindavan. We are worshiping Krishna in Dwaraka. And that day, Prashadam, I ate Prashadam, I felt sick because I ate so much. So yeah, like you're saying, but Krishna is within the hearts of each and every devotee, and he rewards us accordingly. When Krishna says he rewards us accordingly, it's not just about which deity we worship, but it's based on how and what is going to make our devotional kripa grow. And so if Krishna believes and knows that if giving Sahadeva Lakshmi is not going to help him in his spiritual growth, if I'm lucky, then Krishna may not give me the money. If I'm not lucky, Krishna may give me the money and I will lose devotional service. And there are those who can also do well in their devotional service when they have Lakshmi. And so if they are lucky, Krishna will give them the Lakshmi and they will do amazing in their devotional service. And if they are not lucky, Krishna will not give them the Lakshmi and they will bloop, they will lose. So it all depends on our desires, one, and Krishna being the perfect master, analyzing us and knowing which is much suitable for us, and then he rewards us accordingly. But you're right. It is not that every devotee has to become poor, because some devotees becoming poor may lead or cause them to bloop. Whereas if they have the money, they may be able to use that to serve Krishna. But in line with what you say in Krishna Prabhu, that reminds me of a pastime we once had with His Holiness Guru Govinda Maharaj. Guru Govinda Maharaj came to Ghana some time ago. And at the time, we had this devotee, Achana Prabhu. He was a very old devotee. He was actually one of the early sannyas candidates that Bhaktivedanta Maharaj was contemplating of giving sannyas to. And at some point, he left the temple, went home. And then when Guru Govinda Maharaj came, he visited. And he was asking questions. And then Maharaj asked him, Achana Baba, what are you doing? He said, Gurudev, no, he said, Maharaj, I'm working as a business to earn some money to help the temple. Guru Govinda Maharaj said, no. If you've ever been in Guru Govinda Maharaj's class, you will understand what I'm saying. It's heavy. He said, no, Achana Baba, Krishna is not interested in your money. Krishna wants you to be in the temple and serve him in the temple. And Achana Prabhu said, no, Maharaj, but I was in the temple and it was not helping much. So the temple needs so much money. I have to go home and do some business and help. He says, no. He kept saying, Krishna is not interested in your money. And at a point, he turned towards the altar and he was speaking to Krishna. He was speaking to Krishna and Achana. He says, if you do not move the temple, I'm going to ask Krishna to make you suffer. Wow, that is very heavy, no? And since then, Achana, whenever he attends Bhagavatam class, he will sit almost amongst the women. Those days, the men sit in the front, the women sit at the back. He was hiding. He didn't want Guru Govinda Maharaj to see him. But Maharaj will be looking through the crowd and said, where is Achana, Baba? Achana? And then he will spot him. So, Guru and Krishna, if we are lucky, if we are fortunate, Guru and Krishna will give us what is really appropriate and conducive for us. If we are not fortunate, we may not get what is appropriate for us. We may be enjoying it, but it may not help us in our spiritual life. So our prayer should be that Krishna, please help guide me and provide me whatever is necessary for my spiritual growth. It might be money, it might not be money. Hare Krishna.
That's a very serious.
Babu, sorry, Babu, sorry. Today is a very auspicious day. Today is the birthday of Prabhu Salika's wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mother. Today is mother's birthday. So I want all the devotees to send their prayer to mother. So
well,
let me announce it.
If I may be allowed to steal what was discussed some time ago. As a Vaishnavi, she was never born, she appeared. So today is her appearance day.
Which mother is that?
Salika's wife.
Salika, where is the prasadam?
No problem. Once the class is over, I'll Bluetooth it because since we are on YouTube, on Zoom,
okay.
So I'll Bluetooth it so that everybody can have the president. But thank you very much, Kavik, for making it.
So happy. What's your wife's name, Prabhuji?
Our devotional name is Harada. Actually,
no, we don't want a common name. We want a devotional name. So Harada, yes.
Yeah.
Happy appearance day to Harada Devi Kija.
I suggest we ask the lady if Salika has already made some arrangement for her. Other than that, we will chastise him for not making any arrangement.
Yes, I concur.
Salika need to buy a car for her today. Have you bought the car?
When I'm an associate of King Kusha,
no. You have to buy Range Rover. In this modern life now, 21st century, every birthday is a powerful gift for you that have gopis. No austerity, no japa. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Pure devotee.
We hear you, pure devotee, GVC. Salika. Oh.
Thank you.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Techno's hand is up. Techno Spark.
Chaitanya Prema Prabhu. Please carry your meal.
Dandava Pranam, all glory to you.
Hare
All
Krishna.
glory to Prabhupada, all glory to all the glorious Vaishnavas here. I'm happy to appear here again also. One beautiful thing is that it's a secret though. Krishna actually responds to each and every devotee according to his innermost desires. Like Sudama Vipra was a pure devotee, of course, but he was completely averse to material opulence. He didn't want it because he was afraid that it can entangle him. Whereas Yudhishthira Maharaj is a pure devotee also, and Ambarish Maharaj is a pure devotee, and they were very opulent. So the point is that those devotees that are not averse to material opulence, who are neutral to it, Krishna gives them a lot of material opulence. But those who say they don't want it, they're afraid of it, Krishna also respects that independence. Therefore, it does not award them. So that is why some devotees are opulent, and others are not materially opulent. Others are spiritually opulent. They are not materially opulent. That is the reason. So Kusa Prabhu, as we have all seen, he has a desire, strong desire to become materially opulent. And he's not pretending about it. Therefore, Krishna will definitely grant him enough opulence.
Too much money.
I also guide his intelligence in a way that this opulence will not distract him. But when you get it, please remember all of us, Hare Krishna.
You should remember, Babu, you should remember you that you don't want it.
You are a pure devotee now. Pure devotee don't need money.
Bring some for me. I want some. Hare Krishna. Please don't forget us.
Should I be my Babu? There's one other one you didn't have also, Babu. Should I be my Babu?
Yeah, he's listening. Yeah, he's listening.
There's one other one Should I be my Babu did not have.
Okay.
There's another devotee also that Krishna takes so much special interest in them. Even though if they have the material opponents, he take it away from them. You didn't have that one.
Yeah, that is true. That's the balance. That is the balance. It's true. Especially those he want to use for a particular purpose. Those he want to use for a particular purpose, he will take it away from them. And take it away from them. Then his family members will just turn away from them. In this way, he plunged him into more and more external miseries. Whereas he has big package for him on the other side. So that is it.
So are you
we all
saying
fall into
Krishna,
some of these categories. So
Prabhu, are you saying that Krishna he has a special interest on you?
not me particularly, but I believe he has some special interest in me.
Pure devotee.
Because he knows that I'm not averse to material opulence. I'm not averse. I like. If
So
I
you are
get.
neutral. You are in between.
I'm neutral, yeah. So if it's
But
not
you cannot be
giving
cold
me
and
now,
warm at
I'm
the same
going to
time.
stop.
Well,
So
I want to
Kusa
check on
Prabhu.
something, dear devotees. I hope I got it right this time, but a very senior devotee reminded me. Now, because everything we're doing is trying to repeat and follow what has been passed on to us. And then we also pass it on to the next generation. And therefore, it is very important that we do the right things so that those who are looking up to us can also learn to do the right thing. And that is the chanting of the Mangalacharam. It was brought out to my attention that almost every speaker on this platform seem not to follow the systematic way of chanting the Mangalacharam, except two people, like His Holiness Kavichandra Maharaj. So we should pay attention whenever these two devotees are speaking. When His Holiness Kavichandra Maharaj is speaking, and then when His Grace Srivas Vanachari Prabhu, when these two devotees are speaking, we should pay attention to study and observe how they chanted the Mangalacharam. And I was fortunate that this was pointed out to me. And I must say that I'm happy I was able to chant it the way it's supposed to be chanted today. This is my first time chanting it that way. And how is it? First, you chant the Om Jana Timarandasya, Jana Jana Salakaya. And then, what is it? Oh, my Janathan,
Yeah, then we can be. The Magana Charam, yes, the full Magana Charam, we know it. Vandeham Vishri Guru Shri Yoga.
And then Vandeham. After Vandeham, you chant your Guru Pranam. This is the system. After the Vandeham, you chant your Guru Pranam, Prabhupada Pranam, and then Vanchakalpa. After that, any other mantra you want to chant, you chant. But devotees do chant all these mantras, but they are not in chronological order. So we should pay attention to that, especially when His Holiness Kavachandra Maharaj is speaking, we should pay attention to how he recites it. When His Grace Srivas Vanachari is speaking, we should pay attention how he recites it, and we do that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Lecture.
Maybe I think it's time we bring the class to a close.
Yeah, thank
Please,
you
Kalika
very
Prabhu.
much. Yeah,
It's almost 2 hours.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for your wonderful contribution. And
Thank you all devotees for your patience and your tolerance.
we thank you very much for being here. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. But before we leave, we'll have all of the devotees. Please kindly unmute. Let us use this opportunity to appreciate our speaker for today, Professor of Vedic Literature, His Grace Sahadeva Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Nanta Koti Vaishnava Vrindai ki jai. Prabhu ki jai. Prabhu did not give us his guest, but Prabhu is busy today.